it's Leslie Meredith with Breakbulk Events and Media. I'm here in the studio in Houston with Jeff Tucker from Tucker Worldwide, who is clearly our sponsor of Breakbulk Studios, and we thank you for that.
It's our pleasure. Thanks.
Great to have you here. So give us an update. We talked to you last year about some of the big goals that you laid out for Tucker. Give us an update on where you are and the progress you've made.
Yeah. So one of the biggest areas that we were focused on was visibility. It remains visibility, freight visibility. So Tucker, we're a non-asset-based freight brokerage, the oldest privately held freight brokerage in the country. So we've never owned a truck. I have an SUV. That's the closest thing we have.
I'm not sure that counts.
Doesn't count. So we're using hundreds of trucking companies in a particular month. And currently we're getting, on 87% of our loads, we're getting GPS tracking on those loads. So remarkable accomplishment in just the 12 months that we were last year.
What was it before?
When we were here last year, we were probably in the 35% range. So a tremendous headway.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, is that a function of the trucking companies adding this technology to their vehicles, or is it you selecting trucking companies that have that meet, your goals?
That's a really great question, and it's a little bit of our secret sauce. So yes, we tend not to deal with the owner operator, the one guy with one truck. So we're dealing with mid-sized trucking companies, small mid-sized trucking companies. So they've got technology around their fleet that enables us to have leverage. So if we're dealing with, instead of thousands of trucking companies, we're dealing with a few hundred, it's easier to get that connectivity to the truck. So that, but also we've got a cross-functional group, our carrier sales team, our sales team, our marketing team. We're all in a weekly meeting strategizing as to how can we improve our percentage of visibility. So it's a lot of hard work, a lot of effort, and also
a lot of people on that team.
Yeah.
That's interesting. And so once you have that in place, and now that you're at 87%, which is phenomenal, what is the benefit to your customers?
So today, we're all familiar with our online experiences. When we purchase something online, we can see where it's 8 stops away. We need that as consumers, and more of our customers want that in their business in their business as well. So it's important that we adapt. It's important that we give our customers that. But for us, we want the 100% visibility by the end of the year on all of our shipments. That's the beginning point. Then we can begin to use that data to determine this particular lane never delivers next day. What's going on? And we can begin to root cause analyze what's happening here. So we're, as a transportation company, you're always focused on time. Now we're going to have data that we've never had before. Really, no one's ever had before.
That is amazing. And I know that is a challenge for companies. It's often not difficult to gather data, but the analysis and then building an action plan on that or a mitigation plan is far more difficult.
Yeah, and we're a quality managed company. We're ISO certified, and when we look at a problem, we look for root cause. We say, okay, how can this process be improved? So it's in our DNA to get to that that level. Another thing, so many of the folks at Breakbulk are forwarders. They are steamship lines, and as buyers of transportation are looking for end-to-end visibility from one country on the water to right to the door, to the delivery. We feel like the visibility is critical here as well as ocean carriers begin to build that visibility. So again, we're trying to fill a void that a lot of folks don't know is yet a void. We're trying to be among the first, and it's been pretty exciting for us.
That's interesting. Doesn't it take a certain level of trust to achieve that across partners. The visibility, the sharing of data so that you can get end-to-end transparency.
Yeah, absolutely. In some of the electronic tracking that we have is connected to the driver's phone, because we don't have the visibility into the electronic logging device of the truck yet, and those drivers are concerned about privacy. Some of the trucking executives who are here, we met with one of them just today, and they're the one with the largest volume of that hasn't yet given us the visibility. Their execs are still concerned with that, so they want to make sure that once that load delivers, we're not tracking their truck, and we're not. It does require discussion and understanding of the technology.
Absolutely. And I think you bring up a good point. You brought it up earlier. Our expectations of that transparency and knowing where something is at any given moment in time. And I also see a parallel with the concern with privacy, because we've had so many in the consumer sector with Cambridge Analytica, with Facebook, and all of these data breaches. So I think the concerns around privacy are higher than ever. And I see then apparently that's spilling over into what you do.
Yeah, I think what's very interesting is what are the 4 or 5 or 6 consolidators of this technology doing right now, and that's where my biggest concern is. So my data is my data. The tracking of the transportation is very important for my customer, for me. Hundreds of thousands of dollars, millions of dollars on that truck. What's of concern is what are the aggregators of this data doing? What marketplaces are they creating with my data, with my carrier's data, that neither of us really have any interest in seeing occur? That's, for me, that's the biggest exposure we have with regard to privacy right now.
Well, we will take that up next year, and hopefully we'll have made some progress.
Thank you.
So thanks so much for sharing everything about Tucker with us and what you're looking at and the tremendous things that you've achieved already this year.
Thank you, Leslie. Pleasure to see you again.